All that we took for granted just a month ago seems far out of our reach right now. Facing the uncertainty of further lockdown, we're not sure if normal life will ever come back. And as we endure the uncertainty, we begin to lose our sense of direction, our sense of purpose, our grounding of where we are and where we want to be. We stand apart from each other. Every trip out feels like a combat mission behind enemy lines. Every stranger is a virus carrier who may be a threat. Our freedom feels curtailed. We feel like refugees in a far land or under the boot of an occupying army. It is easy to feel sad, to feel that color has lost its vibrancy, that sweetness has lost its flavor, and that light has lost its sharpness. We are beset by fear of mental health issues, fear of contracting the virus, fear of losing our employment, our income, and losing loved ones. We're exhausted by Zoom meetings, the lack of physical presence, the lack of body language, tones of voice, and whispered jokes across the table. Rather than producing a brave new world, we feel like the old one has intensified, and all that we cherished may be lost. It is also easy to feel that we are the only ones who know this, but we're not. The biblical book of Lamentations was written almost 600 years before the birth of Christ by a people whose beloved city was destroyed by the Babylonians, and they were in turn taken into exile into a strange and bewildering land. Their feeling of loss was total, and it led them to write laments like this.
How deserted lies the city, once so full of people. How like a widow is she, who once was great among the nations. She who was queen among the provinces has now become a slave. Bitterly she weeps at night, tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, there is no one to comfort her. All her friends have betrayed her. They have become her enemies. The roads to Zion mourn, for no one comes to her appointed festivals. All her gateways are desolate. Her priests groan, her young women grieve, and she is in bitter anguish.
Laments act as safety valves. They allow us to healthily pour out the despair filling our hearts and spirits. It's good to get our pain, distress, and fears out into the open, to share with others so that we can pick through them to see what is true and what is false. We often feel good after a rant or a cry. The pressure inside us is relieved, and we get a better perspective on what we're really feeling and what's caused it. Laments are good, but they aren't a place to set up home. The authors of Lamentations also knew that you needed hope even when you feel like you're living in hell. Later in the book, they say this.
I well remember them, and my soul is downcast within me. Yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore I will wait for him.
We need signs of hope. We need things that make our heart lift and make us clap our hands. This video clip is one of my parishioners coming out of hospital after weeks of being desperately ill in the ICU. She has a way to go to get better, but this clip shows where hope begins. Paula coming out of hospital was a great sign of hope for so many of us. But another sign of hope that we've seen during this time is the rainbow. In the book of Genesis, Noah looks at the rainbow while God tells him that there is a future and it's one worth stepping into. And I'm glad that it's been adopted by people as a sign of their hope that one day we won't be stuck under this virus, to give thanks for those who are doing so much on our behalf to protect us and to care for us. But I think also by keeping that hope of cheering people up, of recognizing what they do, and using this rainbow as a sign of that, it's also a sign of hope. Hope that one day we'll be able to walk our streets freely, live our lives freely, and feel that life is worth living.